He says his walk to school is too long and a nearby bus could take him without any hassles. His mom says she's hoping the Hillsborough school system can reduce a long walk to a short ride by just bending the rules a bit. But as our Bill Logan found out, taking action in this case couldn't have been any more difficult because rules are rules, especially when it comes to school transportation. Right, Bill?
That is absolutely right, Wendy. Of course, I had to walk to school when I was a kid, through the snow, uphill, both ways, but that was back in the olden days, and we're much more enlightened now. And kids need to be safe on their way to class. So when we heard of a kid who couldn't hop a bus that stops within just a few hundred feet of his front door, we looked into it.
Following a stellar elementary experience, Julian Key was really looking forward to starting 6th grade at Woodrow Wilson Middle School this year, except for one thing.
It's a longer walk to school, and it takes forever.
An estimated half hour or more, he says, traversing a good portion of South Tampa along Habana and Swan Avenues.
I just want him on the school bus. If they can bend some sort of small rule in order to get him on there. He has no behavioral issues. You know, he's a very well, and that's the school bus right there.
Indeed, our cameras could see a bus full of fellow Wilson students loading up just a couple of hundred yards from his front door.
It's kind of silly.
But according to statutes set by the state and school district, it's not.
Outside of 2 miles, we provide transportation. Inside of 2 miles, if there are no hazards, there's an expectation that you can ride your bike or walk to school.
As it stands now, Julian's jaunt to school clocks in at just under a mile and a half. Those kids over on the other street getting on the bus are right at 2 miles, but all the way across 4 lanes of traffic on Azeel Street. And that would constitute a hazard that the district doesn't think Julian should have to face.
I've offered to drive him over there. I've offered to walk him across the street myself, but they won't budge.
$70 million for student transportation. The school system says it can't afford to make exceptions for every instance of perceived hardship. Besides, district leadership told me that a walk could help keep middle schoolers more fit.
We think that makes sense, and we try to enforce it.
And while Lana laments the rules are rules, bottom line, she says her son suffers.
He has a very, very big passion for school, and this is kind of discouraging him.
Yeah, in fact, Mom says that her honor roll student with perfect attendance in elementary school just doesn't have that same inspired intent when heading off to middle school. But this is a lesson they're going to have to deal with, learning that when it comes to buses and business, one exception could open the floodgates for more. And that just can't happen. Wendy?